Hello and welcome back to another video. Now before moving on, I want to say that this video is the 100th video of this channel, so thank you so much for supporting and keep supporting, and we'll continue making videos like these to help students like you. That being said, please do subscribe because most of you have not subscribed, and this does help us to keep the channel going. So do subscribe and let's begin. This specific video is focused on the planning questions, but if you want another video that focuses on the revision tips, the important points and all of that, make sure to watch out this video. This is part of that. These notes are part of that video. The link is in the description. So the first question is plan an investigation to determine the effect of exercise intensity. This is going to be your independent variable. Effect of exercise intensity on the heart rate in humans. So this is a dependent variable, okay? So you're going to have different intensities of exercises, and you're going to change the intensity, and then you're going to measure how the heart rate changes with this. So the rough idea would be that you'll ask a person to, for example, on a treadmill, run for 20 minutes at a particular speed, and then you're going to measure the heart rate of this person again, and then you will get the first heart rate, okay, the first reading, and then you will wait until the heart rate becomes to normal, and then you will allow this person to run on the treadmill again at a higher speed again for 20 minutes this is our control variable, and then you're going to measure the heart rate again, okay? So you're going to keep increasing the intensity, and then you're going to see how the heart rate is changing, okay? So I'll just write this down and we'll go through it. All right, so this is a proposed answer of this question. Now for planning questions, you may have multiple different ways to answer this, okay? You can even have a completely different way of answering this question, but as long as you are fulfilling the requirements given here, you will get the mark, okay? So this is my way of answering, okay? If you even look at the marking scheme, you have so many different ways for the independent variable, okay? You can either have different intensities, or you can have different exercises altogether. So based on how you are identifying your variables, you are going to write down the steps for the experiment, okay? So for me, my independent variable is that I'm going to change the intensity of the exercise. I'm going to increase the intensity for every time I repeat the experiment, and the dependent variable would be the heart rate of the person. So I'm going to first connect the heart rate monitor to the person, and then this person is allowed to run on a treadmill at a known speed for 15 minutes. Why 15 minutes? This is going to be a controlled variable, so that every time we repeat the experiment, it is going to be for 15 minutes. Then you're going to measure the heart rate, and then you're going to record this in a table as well. I just wrote this step before it, but it's fine, doesn't matter. You're going to wait until the heart rate returns to resting state, and then you're going to repeat the experiment. The same person, this is a control variable, we're going to repeat the experiment on the same person, repeats the above steps with increasing speeds on treadmill, so that is going to increase the intensity of exercise for 15 minutes each. And then as for more control variables, you have to repeat the experiment at the same time of the day, at the same temperature, same weather, etc. Now you're going to repeat the experiment 2 more times and take average. For last step, you can mention safety, that is to wear a safety clip to prevent injuries while using a treadmill. Basically, if you fall, the safety clip is going to hold you, or something like that. You can even look at the picture, but this is the steps. The next question is, hydrogen carbonate indicator can be used to determine the concentration of carbon dioxide in a solution. The table below shows the color of the indicator at different concentrations of carbon dioxide. So when the carbon dioxide concentration is high, the indicator will show yellow color. When it's medium, it's going to show red color, and low concentration show purple colors. So aquatic plant photosynthesize and use up carbon dioxide when in the light. So if there is light, carbon dioxide concentration would reduce and the color would be purple of the indicator. Aquatic plants also respire and produce carbon dioxide in the light and in the dark. Okay, so when they're producing carbon dioxide, the carbon dioxide concentration would increase and it would turn yellow. So basically, when the carbon dioxide produced is equal to the carbon dioxide used, the hydrogen carbonate is red. That means the concentration is medium, okay? So using an aquatic plant, plan an investigation to determine the light intensity at which the rate of photosynthesis is equal to the rate of respiration. Okay, so according to this, you will be changing the light intensities until the color turns red, okay? So what you're changing is the light intensity. This is the independent variable. And what is the dependent variable? That is the color of this hydrogen carbonate. So I'll just write down this experiment. So this is my answer. The independent variable is obviously the light intensity. You're going to change the light intensity by increasing the distance between lamp and light, or you can say by changing the distance. And the dependent variable is the color of the indicator. So how you're doing this experiment is that you will have a beaker of water. So you'll basically have a beaker of water, and then you're going to submerge your aquatic plant inside this, okay? So this is your plant, and then you're going to keep your lamp close to this. And then the photosynthesis would occur under this light intensity at a known distance. Then after some time, after let's say 15 to 20 minutes, you're going to sample the water. That means you'll take some volume of water in another beaker. Okay, so you will take this small volume of water and add your indicator, and then you'll mix it up, wait for the color change, and then you'll observe this color change. If the color changes to red, that means at this light intensity, carbon photosynthesis and respiration are equal. That means produced and production and usage is the same. But if you get different colors, this is what it indicates, right? So you're going to change the distance until you get red color. So this is the steps. Submerge a known species of an aquatic plant in a known volume of water, and then at a known distance place a lamp. Okay, so this is going to provide your light intensity. Keep a heat shield between the lamp and plant to prevent heating effect of the light on the plant, because this could affect our results. After 20 minutes, sample the water around the plant, and then you're going to add few drops of indicator and then mix it. Note down the color change. Now you're going to repeat this experiment. We're using the same species, same minutes and everything, same conditions. And then this time you're going to change the distance of lamp to change the light intensity. The control variables are, I have mentioned them here. Use the same species of plant, volume of water, drops of indicator, the wavelength of light from the lamp, time for equilibrium, and there are more as well. Then you have to, and then you're going to observe the color change until you get red. Then you have to repeat this experiment at least twice for more accuracy. And a safety tip, don't handle the lamp or wires with wet hands, and then make sure that they are placed on dry surface, because you may spill some water while you're handling with this volume of water, right? And this is the marking scheme. You can have a look at this and compare your answer. Now this experiment is really similar to the previous question. Here you have to determine the effect of light intensity, so that is your independent variable. But this time the dependent variable is the rate of photosynthesis, okay, on photosynthesis in an aquatic plant. So your experimental setup would be quite same. Your dependent variable is different. The independent variable is obviously that you're going to use different light intensities. Dependent variable is the photosynthesis or rate of photosynthesis, and you can do that by measuring the volume of gas produced using a syringe, or you can just count the number of bubbles. So you can see the experimental setup is same. You are going to change the light intensity by either using different lamps, different bulbs, or increasing or decreasing the lamp distances. And then to measure the dependent variable, you can either collect the gas and measure using a gas syringe, or you can just count the bubbles. Again, to avoid overheating, because when you have a lamp, you will get some heating effect, and that could affect the rate of photosynthesis. So you either have to keep a heat shield, or you can use an LED bulb, because it does not have an heating effect. Keep the plant submerged, same thing as before. And then time for accumulation at each new light intensity equilibrium. That means give it some time before repeating the experiment. And also when you keep a new light bulb, or like when you change the light intensity, wait for some time before measuring the volume. And then as constant variable, you need two maximum. You need to have two. One of them is that use same temperature, same species of plant, same wavelength of light, or if you're adding an indicator, if you are, but for this one we did not really use it. So let's focus on this, the time taken for which you're measuring the volume of oxygen. Okay, let's say you're measuring for 15 minutes or 10 minutes after keeping you're measuring the volume for 10 minutes, for example, or count the number of bubbles for a set amount of time, and then repeat at least 2 or more times. And relevant safety, again, it would be same. Take care of handling the lamp, make sure it's dry and it's not wet. So for this planning question, let's read it together. In plants, water moves up the stem in xylem vessels as column of water molecules as a result of transpiration. That means if you have a plant and you submerge it in water, xylem vessels are going to take up water, so water is going to move up these vessels. Okay, so a celery stalk that still has its leaves, this is a celery stalk, and it does have its leaf attached, can be used to investigate the movement of water in the plant as shown. So you can see these vessels, right? This is how water moves up. Figure 2.2 shows dye in the xylem vessels of a celery stalk. So this is water with dye added. As water moves up, because this is dyed, you will be able to see how much it has traveled when you cut it up. Okay, so plan an investigation to determine the effect of temperature on the rate of movement of colored dye through the celery stalks. Okay, so you're going to basically carry out this experiment at different temperatures, and then you're going, after a known amount of time, you're going to measure the distance traveled by the dye. Okay, so let's just write this down. Again, the independent variable is the temperature, and the dependent variable is the distance traveled or the rate of movement of colored dye. The dependent variable is basically the distance traveled by the dye. So this is one of the answers. So this is an answer to this experiment. The independent variable is the temperature. We're going to change the temperature. First, we'll carry out this experiment at room temperature, and then we'll keep a heater nearby and keep increasing the heat when we repeat the experiment. The dependent variable is the distance traveled by the dye in set amount of time. It's important that we write set time because we're measuring the rate of movement, right? Because maybe you if you just leave them all for 2 days, all of them would move the entire distance, right? So you need to measure the time in a set time. Let's say after 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that, but keep it set. First of all, you're going to use a knife and horizontally cut the end of the celery stalk. It's important that when you're repeating the experiment, you're cutting at the same plane. And then you're going to immerse the celery stalk in the dyed water as shown here. After 5 minutes, take out the stalk, and then you're going to immediately measure the distance traveled by the dye. This is at the room temperature, okay? Now you're going to place a heater at a known distance and at known temperature, and then you're going to repeat the above experiment. While you're repeating, maintain these control variables. Okay, make sure that you're writing full words, okay? Don't write IV, DV, and CV. Carry out the experiment indoors in a lab, for example, to maintain wind speed, humidity, and use same length of stalk. Immerse the dye for same time, and also use same species of celery. Now you don't really have to write all of them. According to the marking scheme, you need 3. Okay, write 3. So do that, and then you're going to have these control variables, right? Then you're going to repeat this experiment with changing temperatures of the heater, and then for accuracy, for each change in temperature, replicate the experiment twice. So this will give you much more accurate results. And then for safety, you can write any safety precaution. For example, you're using a heater, right? So maybe there will be electricity and there is water, so make sure that water does not spill. You're using your hands are not wet when you're handling with electricity and all of that, so you can write something like that. And that's all about biology paper 6 planning question. Again, if you want a quick revision video that covers the important points for biology paper 6, make sure to watch out this video. The link is in the description and it is going to help you.